The insomnia is gone, the fatigue is gone, the joint pain is gone.
What about the brain fog?
Oh my gosh, it's so much better.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Manuel. I'm the co host of Transform Table Talk alongside Dr. Maggie Yu. And today we have a wonderful interview for you with Lucinda. Lucinda was somebody who had been dealing with debilitating symptoms for about the last 5 years or so and was trying so hard to get answers from her doctors about why is this happening? What can be done about it? She wasn't getting any answers and she wasn't getting any help from the conventional medicine world. So, what was Lucinda dealing with? Pain that was so bad, widespread joint pain to where she would be curled up on a ball on the floor, just crying in the fetal position because she was in that much pain. This was a regular occurrence. It was happening 2 to 3 times a week. She was also dealing with incredible amounts of fatigue to where she didn't feel like she could even get through her day. The brain fog, that was a challenge. She was having to have some of her coworkers help her out so that she could function professionally. And all of this then was causing crushing anxiety. She was so anxious that she was having panic attacks and she wasn't sleeping at night. She was dealing with insomnia. So she had all of these symptoms and a diagnosis of Sjogren's. And so she knew she had to get help. She wasn't getting it from her doctors. It was one night when she was in so much pain that she came across Dr. Maggie and the Transform program. And boy, has her life changed around because of it. I cannot wait for you to see how she's doing now. Lucinda, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, Ann. My name is Lucinda Thompson. I'm from Florida. I'm married and I have 3 children. My profession is I am a regional executive director with the state of Florida, Florida Department of Ed.
Okay, so you said 3 children, right?
3 children, three
And
adult children.
and a demanding job as well. Unfortunately, though, over the last 5 years or so, your health started to decline big time. Why don't you tell me more about what's been going on?
Yes. So about 5 years ago, I had itching, severe itching all the time on my body. I had gone to 3 dermatologists and I had also gone to 3 allergists. And all of them would tell me the same thing. You don't fit the bill for any type of allergies. They wouldn't do a test. They would draw on my skin and say, oh, you just have hives. I'm like, it's more to it than that. And so I went to my last allergist and basically said, hey, if you're not going to draw my blood, then I'll find somebody else that's going to do it for me. But I need to get some answers because I know it's not in my head. There's something going on where I'm itching all of the time. And so that allergist decided at that point in time, let's at least draw some blood to get some results because it had been so long. And when the results came back, my ANA was off the chain, like off the charts. And
Mhm.
so to the point where he said, I can't even help you. You're going to have to go see a rheumatologist. And at that point, that's when I knew I had something else going on outside of just itching skin.
Okay, so finally, you were starting to uncover what could be the issues here, but you went to the rheumatologist, and were you able to get answers there that were
I
satisfying?
did. I did. And so the results from the test showed that it was a possibility that I had Sjogren's. I'd never heard of Sjogren's before. I couldn't put my finger on it because, I had enough energy just to go to work and come home, and I would crawl into bed and I was done for the night. Fatigue like I had never had before, joint pain, just pains all the time. I couldn't explain it. I've never had that type of pain before. And
You were telling me, and I really want to hear more about this, the pain level on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you have rated it?
Probably 15.
Is
It
there
was yeah, it was pretty bad to the point where I would be on the floor in a fetal position at times. My husband would just come to the floor and just kind of rub whatever was hurting at that point in time because he didn't know what else to do. Motrin didn't help, nothing helped.
Hi, I'm Maggie UMD, and I'm a functional and holistic medicine physician and the creator of the Transform and Transform protocol. If you're interested in learning what are the root causes of all chronic disease, go ahead and click the link in the description where I have a power pack 30-minute training that goes over what are the 5 pillars of Transform. Go ahead, click the link, and I'll see you in that training.
I'm
So
just thinking about this, Lucinda, and you're painting a very strong and very sad picture. And this was a regular occurrence for you?
at least 2 to 3 times a week. And I have to mention that I also have a high threshold for pain. So for the fact that I'm on the floor crying 2 or 3 times a night because I was hurting so badly, for a person like me who has a high tolerance for pain, that tells you how much pain I was in.
Off the charts, not a way to live. And what kind of answers were you getting and help were you getting from your doctor?
I wasn't getting any help and I wasn't getting any answers. Basically, once I got to my rheumatologist, it took another year or so to even get the diagnosis that I had Sjogren's. So basically, she was treating me for like multi tissue, connective tissue. That's what it was. It was a
Oh,
multi
oh, you're talking
mixed
about
tissue,
mixed.
mixed
You're talking
tissue.
about
Yeah, mixed
mixed
tissue.
connective tissue
Yes,
disease. Yeah.
yes.
And
Because
really, a lot of people that work with Dr. Maggie have had that diagnosis. In fact, Dr. Maggie herself has mixed connective tissue disease. And so, yeah, a very common thing for Dr. Maggie to be able to work with and turn around. But unfortunately, in the conventional medical world, doctors really don't offer much help.
there were very little help. And at that point in time, I refused any medications because I thought, let's kind of figure this out. I wanted to see if there was something else that we can do other than take medication. And this happened right at COVID. So it was also difficult to get in to see doctors, to see my rheumatologist as often as I needed to. But about the 6th month, the pain was so severe. I was willing to do anything to get some relief. And so I was started on the Plaquenil. And maybe about 3 months later, we started methotrexate. It was by mouth first, and then I wasn't absorbing it. And so then we switched to injections to
Injections.
kind of help with some of the pain.
Getting more and more medications on board now.
Mhm.
Are you getting substantial relief from these medications?
No, not at all. If there was a difference, I will say it's not like they didn't help at all. But if you're taking those types of medications and you're getting an injection, and my husband's giving me an injection at this point in time every single week. And at that point in time, I'm thinking, if I'm getting an injection every week, I need to not have any pain whatsoever. So no, the pain was still there.
Not to mention, of course, medications come with their own set of potential side effects.
Yes, which is why then eventually, fast forward a year later, I had to come off of the Plaquenil because I started seeing changes in my eyes. My doctor started noticing changes in my eyes, so they took me off of the Plaquenil.
So you had to come off of it. So now what are you left with? You know, you're not left with a lot of options. I know that you're somebody who wants to know why. Why is this happening? Why is my body malfunctioning in such a way that I'm needing to get on all of these medications? And I don't think you were getting any answers to that, it sounds
No.
like.
No answers. It was pretty much you have an autoimmune disease. There is no cure. Basically, this is going to be your life, and we can manage it, but we can't cure it.
And I know you were dealing with even more symptoms as well. You were talking about brain fog. Was that a problem?
Brain fog to the point where I have at work, I have two assistant directors, and I had to train them to assist me because I had sticky notes everywhere. And my job is a high profile job. It is a very stressful and very demanding job. It requires you to think on your feet. You're with superintendents, you're with principals, you're with important people all the time, and they're asking you questions, and you're sitting at a meeting, and you need to be able to respond immediately. And I could not do it all the time. So I had to train my assistants to pick up on my cues of when I'm saying that my brain is not functioning the way I need it to function. So you're going to have to chime in. You're going to have to help me. It was that bad.
What was that like for you? Because it sounds like you worked very hard to get to where you are with your life and your career. I mean,
It
what was that like for you emotionally?
frustrating to the T because I'm also a control person, like a control nut. And so knowing what I want to say in my brain and not have it come out of my mouth was one thing, but it was very frustrating. And I think it added to the anxiety that I also experienced as well because I knew that I wasn't my 100% myself. So between not sleeping at night
Okay, so
because
you had insomnia too.
I had insomnia as well. So the brain fog, the pain, all of that, it was impacting me.
Tell me more about the insomnia.
I would fall asleep, but I would wake up throughout the night. So it was almost as it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm up wide awake, like it was, 2 o'clock in the daytime for no reason. And sometimes I was able to fall back to sleep and sometimes I was not. But before I started the program, I had not slept through the night in months.
Oh my gosh. And that can't help. You're already fatigued as it was. And now you're not getting any sleep, and your body is not getting the rest it needs to make the proper hormones and to do the things that it needs to
Correct.
do and repair itself while you sleep.
Yes. So before I said I would wake up at 2 in the morning for no reason, but and I didn't know why, but now I know why. There was a reason why my body was waking me up, and now I know why, thanks to the program.
I want to hear, where is Lucinda today? So let's start with the pain. Your pain was a 15 plus on a scale of 1 to 10. How's the pain level now?
Oh my gosh, Anne, I do not have pain. Let me repeat that.
Yes.
I do not have pain. And I'm going to try to say that without crying.
I know.
To go like 3 years or more to be in so much pain. You're on the floor at night and you just feel so helpless. No answers to not being in pain. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean to you, Lucinda?
It's like I got my life back. I think the hardest thing too was to know that I was in so much pain. It wasn't even about me personally. It was more so my husband. He felt so helpless. The only thing he could do was just rub me, rub whatever. Your back hurt, your feet hurt, your neck hurt, whatever's hurting. Let me just rub that. And that was all he could do. It got to the point where I would have my own personal moments because I didn't want it to always be about Lucinda on the floor crying all the time. So I even started to hide
Mm.
sometimes when I was in that much pain. But to go
Yeah.
from that to no pain in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I started the program and literally I would say within a week, I could tell the difference. Within
Okay.
2 weeks, I had no pain
And this is something you had been struggling with for
for over
years.
3 years.
Well, people want to know, how did you do that? And what do you think was the key here to getting you out of this pain?
Couple of things. The first thing is when I came into the program, Dr. Maggie always, she said, is you got to cut the gluten.
Hmm.
I had never heard that before. If you have an autoimmune, you should not be eating gluten. I have gone to my rheumatologist for years. They tell you, you should be on a Mediterranean diet, but they don't give you the reason why and explain to you what it is they're saying to you. So I was still eating gluten. So I was cutting other things out of my diet, like red meat. I'm not eating pork anymore. I wasn't eating red, but that's not what I needed to cut. What I needed to cut was the gluten.
Unnecessarily.
So when we did the food mapping came back and showed that I had an intolerance to gluten. So that was the biggest thing I think that really made the pain, go away as quickly as it did.
Oh
And
my.
then the drinking of the water as well. I mean, you think that water drinking is not a big deal, but it is. And I found that I was not drinking enough water. And you think, oh, and I have water bottles here.
You are prepared now.
And so I thought, because I have dry mouth, I thought I was drinking enough water because that's all I would do was drink water because I have dry mouth because I have Sjogren's.
Of
Was
course.
not
But
enough
you learned through a
water.
very personalized calculation exactly how much hydration you needed throughout the day.
I
So
do.
once you got the water on board, that was a big game changer. You mentioned that you now know why you were having the insomnia. I want to hear about how the insomnia is now. Are you sleeping through the night?
I am sleeping through the night. Uh,
Congrats.
and I remember the first night I started the golden milk.
Golden
Sorry.
balance. Yes.
Yes, the golden balance. Yes. I started drinking that at night. And I remember doing it for a couple of weeks, like maybe about 4 or 5 days. And I had started on all of my different supplements to kind of help with balancing some of that. And I remember waking up the first night that I slept through the night. I automatically thought it's 2 a.m. because,
Has
this
to
is what I
be.
normally do. Right. And it was 6 a.m. I was like, oh my gosh, I slept through the
That's
night.
just through the night. You were a normal person for one time and you slept
Yeah,
straight through the night
I
and
slept
got
through the
the rest of
night.
the day. And how did
Yeah.
that feel for you to think, wow, I just did that?
Like I said, I was so excited. I was so elated. I was like, oh my gosh, I slept through the night. Oh my gosh. So when you go and you speak to other people, they're thinking it's just you didn't sleep through the night. What's the big deal? You don't understand. I have not slept through the night in years. So now I'm able to sleep through the night. But it felt so great. No more, staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning working through the night because I'm going to be up at 2 a.m. anyway. So why bother to go to bed at a regular time? I'll just stay up to 2 and work. But now I don't do that anymore. I'm ready to go to bed.
Well, congratulations. So happy to hear it. And then I'm curious about how the fatigue is doing.
Oh, I forgot. What is that? What is fatigue?
What is
What is fatigue?
fatigue?
The
Give the
only time I
password.
felt fatigue since I started the program, my husband and I did we did about 39 miles on our bikes, and I was exhausted after that. Of course, I'm in Florida, so it's hot, but that's the only time I don't have the fatigue.
It doesn't sound like to me the old Lucinda would have been able to go on a 39-mile bike ride.
No, 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 not at all. I don't want to get on a bike.
No. Congratulations. I'm so
Yes,
happy that
but
you had
no fatigue. The insomnia is gone. The fatigue is gone. The joint pain is gone.
what about the brain fog?
The brain fog, I wouldn't say that it's all gone, but oh my gosh, it's so much better. I can't complain about it.
Your
I think
coworkers
now,
are no longer getting the secret signals where you're like
oh
winking
no,
and nudging them to say, "Help me out here."
no, I got it. I can handle it now. So I think that the brain fog that I may have now is just simply I'm getting older and my brain doesn't function as quickly. But no, the brain fog that I had, you knew that it was different. I knew that something was off. It's you can't find your words. Your brain, you know what you want to say, but it's just not there. I was like, I know that that's a piece of paper, and I know it's called paper, but the word paper wouldn't come out of my mouth.
A little
So
bit startling then for you, I'm sure, to know, hey, my brain is not functioning
it's
appropriately.
not.
I can't access my thoughts and my words the way
Yes.
that I normally, because I can tell just talking to you, you are quick, you're quick witted, you're quick with your thoughts. So to have that change so drastically must have been challenging. And then I'm thinking all of those combined obviously led to a lot of anxiety, not to mention the illness itself could have. Where do we stand now with being anxious?
Anxiety is something I did not experience. I think we all have a certain level of anxiety, but the anxiety that I had started to have, I had never had in my life. So I'll tell the story first of what happened. So my husband and I travel quite often, and we were on a plane. We were coming back from Hawaii. And so that's quite a long trip on a plane. And the anxiety hit, and I couldn't stop it. I
Mm.
wasn't like crying to screaming or anything like that. It was just the tears kept flowing and flowing, and I couldn't stop it. And so I got up out of my seat. The stewardess noticed that there was something off,
Wow.
because I couldn't stop the crying. So I got up and I went to the back where, they kind of serve the food or whatever. And I just stood there because the air was a little thinner there. And
Mm.
so I could kind of breathe and get myself together. It took me about 45 minutes to come
Wow.
back to my seat, sit down, and pull myself together. And at that point in time, too, my husband's like, I don't know what to do. I'm
Right.
on a plane. My wife has just had a panic attack and she's crying hysterically. Like, like I'm like underneath a blanket over my head on
Yeah.
a plane, and I'm just crying because I can't stop. So I had to share that because that's the level of anxiety that I was experiencing.
It sounds terrible to have that level of panic and concern and that anxious feeling that you just can't shake and don't even necessarily know why it's happening. To say that that's gone
It's gone.
has to be life changing.
It has been. I feel like I have Lucinda back again.
And so does your family, because I know you have one adult son that's living at home with you and your husband as well. Both of them are in the house with you. And I'm sure that they saw some pretty dramatic changes in you when you were sick. So,
Absolutely, because they were the ones that were giving me the shots. They would alternate. Who's going to give her the shot this week? The shots were provided as a way to help with pain.
mhm.
And so after I started the program for about 3 weeks or so, and the pain had gone away, and I thought, well, why bother to take the medication, to take the shot? So I took it upon myself and I made the decision not to get the shots anymore.
How did your rheumatologist respond? Was she in shock?
I don't think she was in shock, but she was quiet. Normally, we would have banter, or dialogue about my health journey and what we could do. She was quiet this time because the conversation, I don't think she could follow the conversation that I was having with her. When I explained to her what I was doing, I explained to her the program that I was on, I explained to her about going gluten free. I just explained to her those things that I was doing that was making life better for me, and that I finally got the answers that I needed, and I was connecting the gut issues with autoimmune disease because I had
Mhm.
that conversation with her before, because I found my own research that there was a connection. And I went to her and I said, I think there's a connection here. I had H. pylori years ago. So I'm wondering if that's part of all of that. I had these conversations even before starting the program. I was silenced because it was like, oh no, that has nothing to do with it. And so
Oh,
I never had that conversation ever again. But this time when I went to see her, I could have that conversation, and I knew without a doubt that that's what was happening and where some of my issues may have started. And she couldn't hold that conversation.
your family can relate only so much. They see
Mhm.
you and they see what you're going through, but they don't necessarily know how it feels. So to go through the program with other people who know and have been on that same journey that you've been on and experienced many of the same symptoms and frustrations, what is that like to have that community support?
Bless my husband. I'm so thankful for him. But like you said, it's different talking to someone or speaking with someone that they have the same struggles that you have, health wise. My husband knows what to say and the right things to say, but you truly don't know what's happening in my body. So to have that support of of your pod. The pod is there's no judgment here. And so you ask questions, your thought partner, if you need to cry on somebody's shoulder, you have that. And to have that and not have met any of them prior and to instantly like have that relationship with someone you never met before and you bond because you all have similar issues with your health. I mean, it's that adds more to the program as well, having that level of support.
I'm just curious, you touched on it just a little bit, but how was it that you came across Dr. Maggie and the Transform program? And what was that deciding factor that you said, I've got to do something, I've got to do this program?
Absolutely. If I go back to the conversation where Lucinda's on the floor in the middle of the night crying because she had so much pain, it was one of those nights. I was in so much pain and I was up. So I was praying and I was saying to the Lord, I'm like, if this is where I need to be, and if this is going to be my life, I'll be okay with it. I'll accept it and do what I need to do. But if there's more for me out there, then lead me, show me the way. And I always would look up YouTube videos or something on not autoimmune, just Sjogren's in that particular night. And I have been looking at videos for over 2 years. And
Mm.
I've never seen a Dr. Maggie video ever. And that I'm telling you, I'm watching for 2 years.
Wow.
And that night, one of her videos popped up.
Wow. Who do you recommend this program to? I'm curious because, it sounds like you're wanting to share the word with the people in your life that are closest to you. Who is this program for?
This program is not just for someone with an autoimmune disease. I think this program is for everyone because it's not about just treating your autoimmune, but it's also about it's your own health journey. It's about taking control of that. It's also about just learning things that your doctors don't necessarily. Now, I wouldn't say teach you that they don't have those conversations with you. The question is, who would you share this with? I have shared it with everyone that will listen.
Oh.
And the people that I have shared it with, like my coworkers, I have my team, we're a very, very close team and a very diverse team. They actually went through the program with me for the 2 weeks because they saw where I started and they saw where I ended and they saw the difference.
Talk about a testimonial.
A testimony, and I've helped them as well. So someone else that was on my team, we never had that conversation around autoimmune disease or anything. Just didn't talk about that.
Mhm.
And come to find out, she had some similar problems. She had been having tests done, wasn't getting answers. And wow. So because of our conversations, she's now understanding what's happening with herself. And that was just a general conversation. So who would it benefit? Anyone that needs answers and wants to take control of their health journey and you want to know about yourself and like how to have those conversations with your doctor when you're having something happen within your body and you don't know how to get those answers. So it is not just for someone with the autoimmune disease at all. It's for anyone.
Anybody who wants answers.
Anybody that wants this. Yes.
So you mentioned that, your husband and you had to think about the financial commitment that's involved in this. I'm curious now, looking back, how do you rate the value of the Transform program?
You can't. I'll say this in the beginning, because I said I was a skeptic. In the beginning, I thought, oh my gosh, that is a lot of money. But I believed that because I had prayed about it right before, saying like, Lord, give me that sign. And then I found those videos that I knew that this was it. But you can't put a price on your health. You can't put a price on your life. So every dime I spent, and I would do it again, was worth it.
It's striking to me. You're actually the second alumni I've talked to that said they were at a turning point in their lives where they were praying. And it was at that exact night that they came across the Transform program. And I think about it and it kind of gives me chills because whatever someone's beliefs are out there, the fact that it sounds like it was an answered prayer for you.
It was because I told you I searched videos for like over 2 years, watching YouTube videos on Sjogren's and Dr. Maggie's videos never popped up in the 2+ years that I have been looking. But that night, that video popped up. There was a reason why that video popped up.
I'm thankful for you that you were able to finally get the help that you needed, that you found this program, that it was an answered prayer. And your life has turned around. And in fact, you got it back.
I got my life back and I am pain free.
Able to go on a 39-mile bike ride.
I can do whatever I want to do.
Well, congratulations, Lucinda. So happy for you. And thank you for also sharing your story because I'm sure it's going to continue to impact many more people who will get a chance to watch this and hopefully think, hey, if it could happen for Lucinda, why not for me?
Absolutely.
To hear the words that Lucinda was a skeptic and to go from being skeptical to getting those results to where she's now telling everybody she knows about the Transform program, it's truly incredible to hear her testimony and to see that her pain is gone. I know that was emotional for her because it was such a hard journey and she was in such intense pain. And to now not have any pain, it's gone. Just feels wonderful. I'm so happy for her. The fatigue, it's gone. The brain fog, it is not like it was. The anxiety, totally gone. No more panic attacks, no more crying, no more anxious feelings. And she's sleeping through the night. That has to feel wonderful to be able to go to bed, be excited about going to bed because you know you're going to get a good night's rest. If you are somebody that maybe is watching this video and is in a similar position, or you know somebody who needs help dealing with some of these chronic health symptoms to turn around their health, reach out to the team. Also, be sure to like the Transform Your Health Facebook page. Coming up at the time of this video, it's almost at 90,000 people who like that page. So join the conversation, get the resources there to help you on your health journey. On behalf of Dr. Maggie Yu, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I'm Anna Manuel. Have a great day.
Hi, and thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in actively looking for a solution to your problem and you'd like to work with us, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and click the link in the description to book a chat with our team. What that's going to do is it's going to bring you to a calendar, pick a time that's going to suit your needs best. It's going to be about a 15-minute phone call. After you book that call, there's going to be a link to a short questionnaire, and that's really important for you to fill out because it's for us to get to know you better and helps us to better prepare to make the most of our time together. After you fill out the short application, it's going to take you to a page where there's a couple resources. What I want you to do is go ahead and click 2 of those and watch those 2 trainings. They're going to really best prepare you for your phone call with us to make the best use of our time together. I and my team look forward to talking to you to learn more about you, to see if we are indeed a good fit to work together. Thank you.